Interviews with business owners and veteran executives who share their wisdom and expertise to help you de-stress, free up time, and make more money. Profits of IT. Welcome back to the Profits of IT. I'm Jim Punzenberger, your host, and the founder of Neutron Solutions, the creator of the managed prospecting system. And if you're looking to generate leads and appointments and sales opportunities without cold calling or ad spend, check out managedprospectingsystem.com. Today, I have Kevin Murray with me as a guest. Kevin, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit more about Nerdio?
Well, hey, thank you for having me, Jim. I appreciate the time and the opportunity today. Like you said, my name is Kevin Murray, and I lead the partner solutions team at Nerdio. So we'll probably get into some of the details about what Nerdio is, but me on a personal level, I'm a husband and a father. I got a 14-year-old son. Love to play baseball, love to coach baseball, and tend to be an outdoors kind of guy. So I spend a lot of time outside in this Chicago weather when I can. So when it gets to winter time, everybody goes indoors, but right now we're outside and things are looking good. So sunny out today even.
Don't tell me you're a Cubs fan.
I am a Cubs fan. Yes. If I knew I could get away with it, Jim, I would have worn my hat today, but I didn't think you'd probably like that. So
yeah, I'm being in Wisconsin, I would tend to be more of a Brewers fan than a Cubs fan, and they're kind of in a battle right now for the division.
We took one from the Mets last night, and I know that we were waiting for the Brewers to see what they did with their game. But yeah, we're dicing it out for first place in the Central Division right now. So now that I know that about you, I don't know if we can continue here. So
yeah, I probably shouldn't have mentioned that. Anyways, so outside of baseball, what else is any interesting facts about yourself?
Yeah, so I was, born and raised in Illinois, and so spent a lot of time here. Have tended to work around in this area, so I'm a Midwesterner at heart. And then just being just outside of Chicago and having and with work, Nerdio's headquartered in Chicago. So it's just been great to be here in the Midwest. I love the Four Seasons. I'm not averse to pulling up a chair in the middle of winter and watching it snow. So outside of sports, it's good to be in the Midwest too.
Cool. Great. So what would you say is your superpower when it comes to business, and how can others learn from that?
From a superpower perspective, I would have to say that is in around, cloud solutions, and really just the context of being able to have scalable solutions for a lot of people when it comes to my MSP superpower, if you will, and how I fit well with Nerdio. So as people or businesses mature, as well as MSPs mature, there's an aspect to having cloud within your, wheelhouse, if you will, your toolbox, to where you can actually start to grow your business, start to see scale, systemization, automation. And that's the superpower. It's I understand how all that goes together. And in a lot of cases, I spend a lot of time with partners to help them understand the similar things and how they can apply that to the business.
Cool. So if I'm an MSP or MSP owner, IT executive, how can what you do help me to make my business ultimately more profitable?
That's a great question. And that's probably one I talk about almost every day. So, and we deal with different, varying degrees of MSP. So whether you have a cloud practice today, or you're looking to go to the cloud, or you have an existing private cloud, as Nerdio as a orchestration tool, in the end, we're an independent software vendor that makes tools so that MSPs can deploy environments within Azure and start to virtualize a lot of their stuff for their customers. And so as I'm having those conversations A lot of it's just tearing down the myths as to what cloud computing looks like, especially with public cloud. There's a lot of myths out there in terms of security and all those kind of too expensive. And so I typically would spend a lot of time talking about, how we can move a lot of those fixed costs or those variable costs into fixed costs and help to design an MSP in and around that profitability, whether it be leveraging discounts from Microsoft, working with their CSP providers, distributors all over the US and globally. And so it's a lot of painting a picture so that they can see that, cloud virtualization, especially in a public cloud like Microsoft Azure, has a lot of upside and certainly has that ability to create the margins that they're looking for. Given the seat prices that we're seeing today, there's a huge opportunity. And then, we'll probably get into current circumstances, like we're coming out of a pandemic, and there
Right.
was certainly a lot of growth from that as well.
Yeah. So how specifically can I apply Nerdio in my business to, is it something that I should be looking at for my existing clients, or is it more advantageous for if I'm onboarding new clients?
Yeah, well, and that's the beauty of Nerdio, is that we through our automation and orchestration have inserted a very high degree of flexibility, if you will. So whether you have existing customers or you don't want to start launching it as a product for anything that new, both apply. The good piece is with Microsoft Azure, we have the ability to do hybrid, if you will. So you have an instance to where, if let's say you had a customer who had on-premise infrastructure and you didn't want to do it all at once, we have that ability to help you orchestrate what we would call a hybrid environment, where you can still have all that existing infrastructure, link it to everything with Azure, slowly, over time, bring, those desktops to a virtual environment, Azure Virtual Desktop. And so it's super flexible. And then, the same thing would apply to all those new customers. So what we found is that we create enough efficiency for these MSPs to where those new deployments, we give them the ability to not only have all that standardization, but they can leverage a lot of, templates, things like that, where they're not double down, they're not doing double the work. They can actually borrow from things they've set up in the past and, scale that out. So their deployment actually goes up. They're way more efficient. So it's flexible in both directions for sure.
Cool. So I can basically, I set up one client and then I can use that as a template to save time when setting up future clients.
Absolutely. Yeah. And we do it we do it in two respects. So you can have it within the actual client tenant, where you say, hey, I never want to have to do this work again, set up a template, reuse it as many times as you want. Or, a lot of our scaling partners would say, hey, I want a global image. And so they do the work once and then apply it to every customer that they get, so it's a lot of scale, a lot of efficiency, and then it avoids mistake. You get to root out a lot of that human error that you often see enter into IT environments. So very positive in that respect.
This sounds great, but is there a steep learning curve? Do I have to is it going to take me a long time or take my team a long time to learn this and to implement it?
That's a great question. And so there's two aspects to that, and I can answer in both directions. The learning curve is typically relevant to whatever customer you have. So if it's a simple customer, let's keep the deployment simple. If there's complexity, we can go the complex route. And so we do have a multitude of products. Some are very fast tracked. We have had instances where partners on board, we do have internal use licensing. So a partner could sign up, play with some licenses for a while, get experience with the product. And then we've seen instances where they close business on a Monday and they're implemented by a Friday. So it's that efficiency. A lot of it just has to make sense from the perspective of knowing how it gets provisioned, those types of things. But quite honestly, a lot of the stuff that they already do today, they're going to continue to do. We just give them some efficiency to get there. And then this is going to sound like a plug, but I'll put it out there anyway. In terms of learning, we do have a knowledge base that has hundreds and hundreds of articles. And so they can get very specific when they have questions. But we also have a certification program. So if you did have somebody that wanted to get on a fast track, we can put them through the curriculum, they can take the exam and become Nerdio certified over a multitude of products, including selling.
Okay. So, and is there money to be like, other than making making us more efficient, is there other ways to make money with Nerdio?
Yeah, absolutely. So, the first thing is, when you enroll with Nerdio and become a partner, you obviously have access to scale with us as well. So as you promote the business and grow the business, we're going to recognize that. And, we do have a pricing and licensing scale that goes with quantity discounts and those kind of things. The one thing that I think a lot of people don't have much knowledge around or have access to is where Microsoft is out there promoting some steep discounts that they can offer. So when it comes to Azure, there's two elements that a lot of partners can use, and that would be reserved instances as well as Azure hybrid usage benefit. And in many cases, that's as much as a 50% discount over what they would normally pay, which typically is where MSPs really start to find the money. And those that are applying those, there's some great margin, probably more so than what they were even getting in, if they had private cloud, more so than what they were making margin wise in private cloud.
Wow. So, so this is an additional 50% on what the normal Azure margins are.
Yeah. So if you went on to, the Azure Calculator and applied that reserved instance and Azure hybrid usage benefit where it applies, yeah, that's take that cost, take the take a percentage off of that, and you start to see those numbers increase margin. And so that's all pricing. Take the beauty of being an MSP is that you can now roll that up into your other services. Whether you're doing could be AV solutions or some type of monitoring or metrics that you're doing, different application servers, all that applies to where you can start to see that scale with utilizing those discounts. And likewise too, Microsoft has programs that they're running all the time, and it's really just about connecting with your CSP to say, hey, what's out there that I can grab onto? I can tell you the last promotion that Microsoft was giving, virtual machines away for 6 months. Well, that's 6 months of free that you get to charge the customer that goes right to your pocket.
Cool. That'd be a great benefit to be able to make 100% margin for 6 months.
For 6 months, yeah. Well, and it gives you a good head start, right? So entering the business, getting things going. It's those programs run periodically. The CSP distributors throughout, they have programs they run. So, really getting involved with your distributor and paying attention to what Microsoft has in terms of promotion can even lead to more, savings, margin, profit, if you will.
Cool. So is there an average, is there like an average that an MSP can see increase to their bottom line by partnering with Nerdio?
Yeah, I mean, we're, in terms of Azure, we're actually a co-sell partner with Microsoft, which means that if a partner has a quota that they're trying to achieve with Microsoft, any purchasing of Nerdio actually goes towards that quota. So that'd be the first thing, is so they can kind of leverage and continue to grow their partnership with Microsoft. But in terms of Azure, a lot of people would call it Azure consumption revenue, or ACR. We contribute to a big chunk of what Microsoft's doing today, and certainly we're an enabler for that technology, dealing with both MSPs in the channel and then super large enterprise. So when it comes to starting to see that enablement and getting into that Azure space, what we're starting to see with Azure Virtual Desktop is that pricing wise, people out there selling desktops for anywhere from $125 all the way to $450. And so, in a typical environment with the orchestration that we provide, on the lower end, you might see cost base of $50 per seat. And then as you get larger, that can get down into the, low 30s, high 20s.
And
So
so
I
you
don't know
have
if I answered your question there or not,
okay.
but
So you're having partners that are selling desktops at $400 a month and it costs them $50 a month. Is that the
and yeah, in some cases, yeah, it's some of it's ridiculous. Now, that kind of depends on the verticals. So, there's some verticals that let's say Wall Street, they're going to be able to command that. Now that 450 isn't just for the desktop. They have a lot of services they bundle in, and that's where the MSP is actually saying, okay, well, I'm going to give you a desktop and then I'm going to give you all these other things too. They'll roll it all up into one cost, for the customer. That's very easy to digest. Everybody wants to know what their per user price is. And yeah, we've seen it as low as, 125 up to that 450 you're talking about.
got it? So there's ample opportunity for margin there.
Ample opportunity and plenty of margin, plenty of continuity for your existing services. If you've developed over time a business line or products that you have yourself, they all could be bundled in there. In the end, the thing that we are seeing across the board is a lot of these companies are just looking for that per user price and a reason to just kind of get out of the IT world and have some stability, as well as the security. I mean, security is a big deal right now. Being in the remote workforce is another big deal right now. And, Nerdio certainly facilitates MSPs that need to move in that direction to start to facilitate those things for their customers and new customers.
Great. So you were mentioning that there was an event coming up that you wanted to mention.
Yeah. So the one thing that I would definitely encourage people to, if you are a Microsoft partner, even if you're not, it's free to register right now, and that would be Microsoft Inspire. So that's coming up mid-July. It's a virtual event, which means that you don't have to pay. You can just show up. But the amount of information, that you could get from there, including some announcements from Nerdio, is going to be great wealth. In other words, having some of the conversations about Azure Virtual Desktop, the directions Microsoft is going, their product changes and announcements. It's something I would definitely encourage your viewers to go attend if they could.
Cool. And so is there a website that that you know of?
Yeah, if they just want to go onto a search engine and just go, just type in Microsoft Inspire, they'll get to the URL that's going to take them right there where they can just register right on that page.
So they should Bing Microsoft
Well,
Inspire.
you said it, not me. So yeah, there you go.
Or Google if they like.
You got to be fair. You got to be fair.
Or Yahoo or any of the myriad other search engines.
Hey, DuckDuckGo. Yeah, you got them all out there.
So cool. And you mentioned maybe having a question for me.
So, yeah, I think the just, as you work in and around the channel, like, some of the things that we battle up against is just getting, people to understand, how lead generation and how, things have changed in terms of marketing and those kind of things. And so, one of the things I was curious about you is just, when it comes to whether it's solution selling or just lead generation, what are you seeing in the market today, and what are you recommending to your customers and partners?
Yeah, well, there are definitely what I'm seeing right now is security is definitely a hot button topic with all the high profile ransoms that have been going on. That security is a hot button issue that it's being the media, it's all over the media, the news. And so right now it's a great topic to use for generating opportunities for MSPs, is talking about security with prospects and the need for it, and how they can help mitigate the risks associated with being in business and being in a business that utilizes the internet to conduct business. So that's one hot button topic that I've seen, or that I see, and that we use and help clients use to talk about security with prospects. It's also something to talk about with their existing customers. Maybe they have MSP clients that have been more of a traditional MSP type client over the years, and they're essentially now vulnerable to security to ransom, and don't have all the security measures in place that they should. It's also a good now is a good time to talk about that with their existing clients, how adding additional security services to their traditional MSP type offerings. So it's just that's using hot topics is a great way to start conversations with prospects and existing clients.
Yeah, and I echo a lot of what you're saying there. We see a lot of that. I think one of the things that and we probably don't see as many take advantages as we would like to, is just the added benefits of going to a public cloud like Azure. Whether it be through redundancies with storage and having multitude of backups, or multi-factor that's all managed through Azure Active Directory. A lot of people look at it as just something that's out there, and it's the advantage to do there is to start to highlight it, actually bring it out, call attention to it, because I agree with you. I think there's a lot of instances where customers see all the danger. They just want to know what details you're going to use to get them there, and certainly a lot of that's available, and we're huge proponents of it as well. So lots of great opportunity there. I think solution selling is probably where we see the biggest traction. People all know they have problems. Let's tell them how they're going to solve them.
Yes, and do it in a non-technical way. Like
exactly.
That's another thing that I see is it's common for there to be disconnect between the MSP and all the very technical jargon that is common among MSPs and their clients, who are non-technical and don't want to be they don't want to know the technical jargon. They just want to have their computers work and to be secure, and know that they don't have to worry about them. So to be able to communicate that solution and communicate it in a simple way, in a non-technical way, is also what I find to be effective.
Yeah, well, it's just like multi-factor authentication. You could drown somebody with the technical jargon, but in the end, you're right. The customer just wants to know, oh, so all I have to do is hit approve on my phone and
Yes.
I'm more secure. That's exactly it, and
or on my watch, whatever.
Yeah, however you want to get there. Exactly. So it's, and I think you're right. Distilling that down, getting out of the technical jargon, simplifying it. Like, they see the press headlines. They just want to know how it applies to them. Exactly.
Yeah. So, well, thank you for your time today. Do you have any closing remarks?
Yeah, definitely. If anybody's interested in learning more about Nerdio, you can go to getnerdio.com. And once again, my name's Kevin Murray, and I lead the Partner Solutions team. We are the support arm of Nerdio, and we have a lot of technical engineers. So if you want to reach out to me, I'm at kmurray@getnerdio.com, KMURRAY, and would love to talk to anybody or answer any questions that anyone might have. So appreciate the time today too, Jim. It was great to get to know you and have our conversation today. And I like what you're doing, and keep doing what you're doing.
Well, thank you. Thank you for the kind words, and thank you for your time today.
Absolutely.
And until next time on the Profits of IT, I'm Jim Punzenberger, the host and founder of Neutron Solutions, the creator of the managed prospecting system. If you're looking for leads and appointments without cold calling or ad spend, check out managedprospectingsystem.com. And until next time, bye for now.
Thanks.
Thank you for tuning in to the Prophets of IT. Please smash that like button, subscribe, and share.